Hello friends and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host Tom Downey. As I'm sure you've heard by now, Xavier Woods going to miss some time with a high ankle sprain. And many of you have mentioned in the comments section and my DMs, on my mentions on social media at WhatGoingDowney, well, who could the Cowboys sign to replace Xavier Woods? So we're going to give you what you want. We're going to take a look at 5 safeties that could replace Xavier Woods. Now, before we get too far into this, again, just to recap the Xavier Woods injury news in case you missed it earlier. The NFL.com initial report that broke the news says he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. That timeline is not an accident. A, the bye week comes in after the next 5 games, so that fits from that perspective. And, by the way, most high ankle sprains are a 4 to 6 week injury. That's the general timeline. Now, the Cowboys are saying, it's week to week. Yeah, that's what they've told the beat reporters. We don't know how long he's going to be out, so we'll call it indefinitely. Whatever it is, he's not going to play against the Dolphins this week, and he'll probably miss a couple of weeks. Now, do you guys want the Cowboys to add another safety? Type Y for yes in the comment section. Type N for no. As I'll mention a few times during this video, you do have to release somebody or put somebody on IR if you're going to add another safety. You're going to have to make a roster move for Robert Quinn for starters. So unless you want to put somebody on IR, but the Xavier Woods, Michael Gallup injuries don't appear to be that 8-week time frame, that means you have to cut somebody to make it happen. And here's where things sit right now with the Cowboys depth chart. As I mentioned on our breaking news show earlier this morning, Darian Thompson is the next man up for the Cowboys at free safety. That is his natural position. He's been with the team for well over a year now and was a former third-round pick and has NFL starting experience. But I know what you guys want. You want Donovan Wilson. I'll be honest, I do too. And I think especially in Week 3 against the Miami Dolphins, you'll see them both play. Because why wouldn't you see both of these guys get on the field, right? Like, you are going to have, in theory, a game in which you're up big. Put them both out there. Heck, rotate them. And of course, let's see how things go in practice. I think the Cowboys trust Thompson a little bit more than they trust Wilson for now, despite Wilson's fantastic preseason showing. But if Wilson's better in practice, that can all go out the window. So again, Thompson is that expected starter. And as weird as it sounds, purely from a where they were drafted perspective, Thompson has the best pedigree. He was the third-round pick out of Boise State. Now, in terms of on-the-field play, he's really only played special teams for the Cowboys. But go back to his Giants time. He was a starter for them. We'll make note, of course, he was cut by the New York Giants. I just like him coming out a little bit. But for now, in terms of the starter, Darian Thompson is the expected starter here for the Dallas Cowboys. So just keep that in mind here for Dallas with where they sit. But let me know what you guys want in the comments section. Who do you want starting? Is it Donovan Wilson? Is it somebody that we're maybe going to get to here in a little bit in terms of some potential replacements? Or are you just panicking and sobbing and crying into your pillow because Xavier Woods is going to miss probably a couple of games here for the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, despite the Xavier Woods injury, the Cowboys are still a massive favorite against the Miami Dolphins. So if you want to put some money down, here's how you can get a free $25 to play with on BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code BOYS25 for free bucks. Free money to bet with there. Put it on the Cowboys to win. I know they're a massive favorite, but that's some pretty quick and easy return on your investment. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code BOYS25. Taking out through 5 players the Cowboys could target. First up, number 5, Shawn Shed. I am intentionally targeting players that could make an impact quickly. Shed fits that mold because he knows Chris Richard and fits the defense. Remember, he played for Seattle from 2012 to 2017, was actually back with them this preseason, did not make the roster. He knows Richard, kind of like has that Tyus Powell, guys remember when he signed, some safety, some nickel corner ability there, so some position flex, which we know the Cowboys absolutely love. But injuries have been a problem in the past. 2015, he was pretty impressive. 2016 was his breakout year, but he had the injury, and it hurt him. And then 2017, he barely got on the field. 2018 with the Detroit Lions wasn't much of an impact. So If you are looking for someone to come in quickly and help because of Shed's familiarity with Chris Richard, that makes a little bit of sense. Moving on now to number 4 on this list. I can't remember who mentioned him in the live show we did this morning, but TJ McDonald does make some sense. He has starting experience, both at free safety and at strong safety for the Dallas Cowboys. A former starter, Dolphins tried to trade him. They couldn't find a taker, so they decided to cut him because they want to get the young guys out in the field, and frankly, they had too many safeties already. But if you're pairing somebody with Jeff Heath, which remains the Cowboys' plan, McDonald and Heath can both play deep, can both play up. Now, I would rather have McDonald at the strong safety position, and I'd move Jeff Heath back to free safety. But again, this is not a long-term roster change for the Cowboys. This is about getting through a month-ish, somewhere in that time frame, until Xavier Woods is healthy and resumes his role as the free safety and hopefully has his breakout year. The production has been relatively steady for TJ McDonald. Tackles beyond a big breakout last year because he was last line of defense for a pretty bad Dolphins defense there. A couple pass breakups, a couple interceptions as well, and you guys know how I like safeties who can make plays on the football. That's why I was so pumped about Xavier Woods. A request for you guys now, if it's your first time watching the show, your 5th time, whatever, and you're not subscribed, well, join the club, guys. Get us to 50K. We are almost at the 35K mark, and I'll remind everybody, if we don't get to 50K by a certain point in December, I will hold out. I am threatening to hold out here. I'll pull a Zeke, and I'll go down to Cabo. So get us to 50K here on the Cowboys Report. We're going to keep you covered all season long. Film studies, highlights, news, rumors, mailbag, live Q&As, all right here on the Cowboys Report. All right, moving on now to the name you guys all want. I know how you guys think. That's Eric Berry at number 3. And I get it. Look, he is the easily biggest, not just name among safeties, but the best and biggest name out there in free agency. No disrespect meant towards Des Bryant there. When healthy, he's great. The problem is, Berry isn't healthy. If Eric Berry were healthy, if that heel injury was 100% and he was back to his old form, somebody would have signed him. So the reason that Berry is only number 3 instead of being the obvious number 1 pick and why he is still unsigned is because of the health. I don't think you can trust a healthy Eric Berry. And beyond that point for the Cowboys, if you're trying to get somebody to just fill the gap while someone's hurt, is an injured guy the way to go? If he's healthy, yes, I'm in. Sign me up. The problem is, I don't believe Eric Berry's healthy right now. And I think the NFL feels the exact same way because if he was healthy, he'd be out there playing for somebody. Maybe not even the Dallas Cowboys there, but they would have him out there. 3 games played in the past 2 years for Eric Berry. That's a big deal. That's a huge issue there for any team that wants Eric Berry. If you can promise me he's healthy, I'm all in. I don't think that's the reality, though, for Eric Berry. That's why he is only number 3. All right, guys, I mentioned the free $25 from BetDSI, but here's how you can get even more money. Use promo code Cowboys120. If you use that initial free $25 earlier this year, maybe, well, now use promo code Cowboys120, same URL, chatsports.com/bet, and we'll get you hooked up with a 120% deposit bonus. What that means is you put down $50, BetDSI is going to give you an extra $60 for free. They take care of you. They've given out extra money to me multiple times with various bonuses. They will take care of you. Get the extra betting money and bet it all on the Dallas Cowboys and against the Miami Dolphins. Parlay those 2 teams each and every single week, and you're going to be making quite a bit of money. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. All right, number 2, a familiar name here, and one that I think makes sense, right? Again, this is all about you are not looking for a long-term, season-long replacement. This is about, hey, if there's another injury, if we want somebody else that we trust more to play actual snaps beyond just special teams, who do we go with? Well, George Illoka knows the defense. He was here in the preseason and the offseason with the Cowboys. Now, he did not make the roster. And I want to make a big note here. They cut him, I believe, but the comp form was pretty tricky, so I'm not 100% sure this is the case. I believe if they were to bring him back and he plays in 10 games, that could impact the Cowboys in the comp pick formula, could cost them a 5th-round pick for Cole Beasley. So my idea here is, what if you bring George Illoka back for 5 games? Bring him in while Xavier Woods is out, then Xavier Woods comes back, you can release Iloka, bring somebody else in at a different position of need, because you already have 5 safeties. You're not going to sign a player and keep them for the entire season, I wouldn't think. This might be more of a short-term option unless you waive a safety to make room for him. With Iloka, I think it'd be a come on in for a couple of weeks, take the paycheck, impress somebody. Maybe they could trade him in the best case scenario, or more likely would just end up releasing him. But that knowledge of the defense, that's a big boost for the Cowboys and for Iloka. All right, the number 1 player then, and the timing here is important, that is Josh Jones, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, a 2nd-round pick. You go way back to when he first demanded a trade, which he didn't get, but he now gets to have some choice in his team because he's still a free agent after the Packers cut him after the preseason. He's working out today for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I do not believe that is necessarily an indication that Dallas is 100% going to sign a safety, or even that they plan to sign Josh Jones. NFL teams typically consistently work out players. They are bringing guys in, checking in on various players. What they're doing is building a checklist of sorts, or a short list of, okay, if there's another injury somewhere, or if something changes and one of our guys is just terrible all of a sudden, who can we look at? Who have we brought in that we know is in shape, could pick up the defense quickly? What is our short list of available players that could fit us and help us out if we have an emergency? I think that is more what's going on here with the workout of Josh Jones. Again, he's not a true Xavier Woods replacement. He's just not a free safety as far as I'm concerned. He's more of a... Remember how the Cowboys used Barry Church a couple seasons ago as this hybrid strong safety, almost linebacker type? I think that's Josh Jones' best fit, although he didn't always like that the most in Green Bay. But I think as a box safety, that makes the most sense. He's certainly a talented player, would have the best pedigree of any Cowboy safety on the roster because he was a 2nd-round pick out of NC State. So he makes some sense. I am curious how his workout goes. He is the name I am going to watch if the Cowboys want to add a Xavier Woods replacement on the actual roster. But remember, somebody's got to go if you sign a safety, because you got to free up 1 spot for Quinn already. Are you going to dump 2 different players to add a safety in depth when you've also, by the way, got injuries at receiver? Not sure it's the most likely outcome. So with all that in mind, I took you through my top 5 guys. Who do you want Dallas to add to replace Xavier Woods in the short term? Now I'm talking about on the roster as another backup safety. And if the answer is nobody, and you want to roll with the other 4 of Heath, Wilson, Frazier, and Thompson, I'm okay with that. And if you want to add somebody, you get bonus points if you tell me who you want to cut instead. But let me know in the comments section. If you want to replace Xavier Woods on the roster for now, who are you targeting in free agency? Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.